It all happened on February the 2nd of the Julian calendar. Somewhere in Serbia, a soul bear awakens from hibernation. Meska Bojna, they call her, a mythical bear goddess and told by the legend. It was a bright sunny day. Bojna saw her own shadow. Sleepy, confused, and afraid, she retrieved back to her cave. Disappointed, the locals murmur, another 40 days of winter. It was Stretenia, the Bear's Day. Up in the hill in Transylvania, Martin the Great, the strongest and the most dangerous of the bear gods, comes out his den. It was a cold day. A great cloud uncovered the sun. Thick dens of fog filled the surrounding. No place for shadow here. Martin the Great demolishes his lair, drinks a mouthful of water in a nearby river. Now, fully awake, he stretches and roars. It's time for action, as winter is coming to an end. In a village outside Kyiv of Ukraine, people gather and went into the woods. There stood the Zappas, the sacred oak tree. They began to knock on the sides of the tree to remind Perun, the supreme god of thunder and lightning, it's time to wake up. Back in the village, thunder marks were engraved on rooftops and entries of houses as a symbol of Perun. It is said that the supreme god would arise on this day and announce his return with thunder and lightning, ready to aid his younger son, Yarovik, god of spring, fertility, and vegetation, to overcome the dark forces and bring nature back to life. The sound of the loud thunderstorm will cleanse all spaces of negativity, for evil forces would flee in panic. Men lift heavy objects and wave farm tools wildly to give Perun strength. Women make noises with brooms, utensils, and move furniture about in hope to help Perun drive the dark forces out. A rare phenomenon happens, a winter thunderstorm. First, thunder was heard and lightning appeared, followed by rain, a sign of Perun's consort, Dodole, the goddess of rain, accompanies his return. People rejoice, for they believed the death of winter and the rebirth of spring happened before rainfall. They kneel on the ground and kiss the earth, for they knew spring is near. Meanwhile, at the top of Ben Nevis of Scotland, Cailleach Biera, the mother goddess of the land and queen of winter, runs out of firewood. No one wants to see a bright sunny day at this time of the year, for the mean Cailleach will go out and gather plenty of firewood to keep herself warm, thus prolong the harsh winter months. To their relief, the rains and winds swept the land since the night before. That means the Queen of Winter is asleep, will soon run out of firewood, and therefore winter is almost over. With the Queen of Winter in her mountain castle was Brigid, the goddess of summer. Cailleach had Brigid imprisoned during the winter months. With her fast asleep, Brigid seized the opportunity to flee from the mountain. Her escape at the beginning of February marked La Brigid, the day of Brigid, or some would call it Imbolc. In her footsteps, the early spring flower, snowdrops, emerge from beneath the snow. Ravens go to prepare their nest. Highlanders began pounding the ground with a stick. Adder the serpent emerged. As the saying goes, the serpent will come from the hole on the brown day of Brigid, though there should be 3 feet of snow on the flat surface of the ground. Or some were humming, the day of Brigid, the birthday of spring, the serpent emerges from the knoll. In the western Isle of Scotland, the magical Outer Hebrides, Brigid's Islands. Women make a figure of Brigid from ox, bright-coloured ribbons, sparkling seashells, and a bright stone placed over her heart as a guiding star of Brigid. And they then place her in a basket decorated with primroses and daisies as the bed of Brigid, along with a white wand made from sacred wood and placed beside her. One of the women goes to the door, standing on the step with her hands on the jambs, and calls quietly into the darkness in Gaelic, "Brigid's bed is ready." And then a woman replies, "Let Brigid come in." Brigid is welcome. The women at the door then say, "Brigid, come in. Thy welcome is truly made." The following morning, footprints were found on the ashes by the hearth. Overjoyed, for they knew the goddess was present in their home during the night, showered them with blessing for the coming year. Over in the Isle of Man, Cailleach, the gloomy witch, landed in Port St. Mary. It was believed that she was thrown into the sea in Ireland and drifted there at this time of the year. Desperate to light a fire to dry and warm herself, if the day was sunny, she would transform into a giant bird, searching for sticks, allowing winter to continue. And people were grateful for a rainy day, for that meant her plan has failed. They called the day La Brigid, Brigid's Day. Legends believe that Brigid would wander the island looking for a place to stay, so people made out spare bed, live out food and drink, and recite at the door before bed. "Brigid, Brigid, come to my house tonight." Cailleach and Brigid are perhaps 2 of the most important figures in Britain and Ireland, with many places named dedicated to them. Ireland recently made Imbolc and St. Brigid Day a nationwide holiday just to show how significant her place is. There are so many legends about them, so much so that I would not be able to fit them all in this topic alone. And what of Groundhog Day? The time when everyone's beloved woodchuck emerges to cast his prediction on whether there will be 6 more weeks of winter by seeing his shadow. You might have heard speculations or claims of its origins. Stretenia, Hromice, Hromice, Candlemas, Imbolc, and so on. So which is it? And perhaps none of them, or all of the above. Observing animals' shadows to foretell weather has been a common practice since the ancient time. In Northern Europe, the bear was always associated with transformation and shape-shifting. The female bear conceives in the autumn, going into hibernation pregnant, journeys in the darkness, and emerges in the spring, symbolizing rebirth and a shaman's return with new wisdom and insights to share with the world. A serpent's habits of shedding its skin and of hibernating underground both make it a good symbol for the ideas of regeneration and rebirth. The ancient Greeks believed that an animal's soul was contained in its shadow. Hibernation was a time of spiritual renewal and purification, and an animal that saw its shadow in the spring needed to go back to bed for a while until its misdeeds would expunge. Although many of the old rituals has been transformed, evolved, and manifested to new identities, as anecdotes, hymns, tales, and traditions spanning through time, even to this day, it is safe to say the new and the old share many domains, echoing each other and forever intertwined.